AT&T Park up the coast in San Francisco, where the Dodgers will try and even the season series tonight after winning another great pitching outing last night against the Giants. That was the home of last year's world champs. Perhaps the visiting team there tonight will be this year's world champs. Welcome to Think Blue for a Wednesday. Gary Miller and Eric Karros with you for the final Think Blue here on KCAL 9. Did you think it would ever come to an end?
Well, I thought it would come to an end, but boy, it's gone quick. I never thought in a million years that I would say I'm going to miss that drive from Manhattan Beach all the way out here, but I'm going to miss that darn drive.
Yeah, we're going to miss you. We're going to miss our staff. We'll get to a lot of that throughout this half hour, but just 1 year can be a very long time. Ask those Giants 12 months ago. Even they probably had a little inkling they were about to go on a run that would result in their second World Series ring in 3 years. Just ask Brian Wilson. A year ago, he had to watch that from the sidelines. Now he's an integral part of their arch rivals trying to make a similar run, and he pitched there last night. Let's see how it all got set up. Hinge Ryu's had a couple of tough outings in the last half of the season, but he looked sharp last night, getting Hunter Pence there. And Buster Posey, so why not knock out the best bats in the lineup? 6 strikeouts for you, but nobody was scoring until the 5th when Matt Cain threw this. How tough is it to hit to that part of the ballpark?
I was going to say, when I saw that last night, as deep as that thing went, he absolutely crushed it. And remember, this is following getting drilled in the ribs his previous at-bat.
Bonds used to be the only guy that could go to that part of the park. Puig doesn't. Who of all people hit 143? The former Dodger, Tony Abreu, does the only damage out for you, but that ties it at 1. And then Matt Kemp, 0 for his last 11 before this. This one went pretty far, too.
Yeah, he crushed it. And it's good to see. And more than anything, great for Matt's confidence.
That made it 2-1, all on solo shots. Ryu finally gives way when they bring in the pinch hitter Brett Pill. And who do you bring in? The Beard.
Love this. Absolutely love this. And the fans, they gave him an ovation.
It was loud. Some of it was boos. A lot of it was cheers. The good fans remember how much he did for them, and he was doing it to them. Last night, Gregor Blanco goes down looking. Juan Perez, 1-2-3 inning. 15 of the bearded one's 16 outings have been scoreless as a Dodger. Kenley Jansen, though, put the tying run at second base, and then high cheese to get the Kung Fu Panda, Pablo Sandoval, 28th save. His whip is .085. That's the best among National League relievers, as he saved 21 of his last 22. So 5 days left now. Pirates have already lost today. It's all but impossible for the Bucks or Reds to finish with the best record or even win the Central, especially since they play each other the last 3 games. With their win today already, the Cards have caught the Braves for the best record. Unless both collapse and the Dodgers win out, LA would open the road at Atlanta or St. Louis. That's going to be, I think, go right down to Sunday.
It's still not over. The Braves losing currently right now, 3-0. I mean, you could run into a situation where I know Don Mattingly is resting players, but these games could become very important.
Yeah, and the Dodgers will have to wait to see who they'll play, unless they can catch and pass them. Let's join our regular contributor for his final Think Blue TV. It's been a pleasure to have Tim Wallach all season long. Tim will get into some fun stuff as well, but the latest is, last night we talked to you about Andre Ethier. Now he's flown back here to L.A. for more tests. How concerned are you that come next week when you play for the postseason, Andre may not be ready?
Well, we certainly hope he is, and I'm sure part of this is to get him back, find out exactly what's going on, and see what we can do to get him ready and hopefully healthy for this weekend. But he's a big part of this club, and certainly want to have him be a part of it when we start the postseason next week.
With all the speculation and trying to create a roster, at least publicly and from a media standpoint, Jerry Hairston is one of those guys that is on the bubble. He gets the start tonight. What does he bring to a ball club and a roster?
Well, experience more than anything else. He's won a World Series with the Yankees. He's played in the playoffs with multiple teams. I think last time was with Milwaukee. It was a big part of their run to the National League Championship Series. You know, just guys that have been through it. He's a professional hitter, professional player, knows what it takes. So, you know, certainly getting him some at-bats here at the end of the year, find out where he's at and things like that. We got a lot of decisions to make, important ones obviously going into the playoffs, but he's an experienced guy that you hate or would really like to have in there, and hate for him not to be a part of it.
He was a huge part, especially in the early season when they had all the injuries and Jerry could play just about anywhere. Eric and I were talking just before the broadcast. The Brian Wilson pickup could turn out to be one of the most essential that the Dodgers have made throughout the course of this year. What was it like to see the reaction that he got last night? I know he downplays it, but it was pretty rousing both ways.
Yeah, I heard a lot more cheers than I heard boos. They were a lot of people, a lot of Giant fans standing for him, and rightfully so. He's done a lot for this for the Giant organization. Got the last out in the 2010 World Series, and I'll tell you what, it's fun to watch him. He's every outing he's gotten better, and that's something that you have that experience of what he's been through and where he's headed right now. He's throwing the ball as well as I've seen him throw it.
Tim, you were an all-star third baseman in your day, Gold Glove winner. You've been able to watch Uribe all season long. How is his defense ranked against some of the seasons you've seen before over at third base?
Well, I tell you what, it's been as good as any I've seen. Adrian Beltre in 2004, he's out there every day. I put those two as two of the best I've seen on a daily basis. They're amazing, and the thing about Juan is he's out there, he's working on the plays that he's making out there. People don't see that, but he's working on tough plays all the time, and he makes them look easy. And to me, that's what really separates the good fielders from the great fielders. They make the tough plays look easy.
And he made an incredible play last night as well. Right now, he could finish with the best fielding percentage ever for a Dodger third baseman if he stays without an error the rest of the way, and past Tim Wallach, amongst others, in fielding percentage. What more could you say about a guy?
Well, I could say that doesn't take much from when I was here. I was a little older and a little slower, but I could get the ball on. I could hit Eric in the chest every time. That was about it.
All right, big target. Tim, thanks for everything this year. You've been great, and hopefully you're going to have a long October.
Thank you, guys. It's been my pleasure, and hopefully we see a lot of you for about a month or so longer.
You got that. All right, let's go to the mound now, where the matchup is the last of the season for Ricky Nolasco, trying to finish on a high note after his worst two outings as a Dodger, facing Barry Zito, making one last audition heading to free agency. Ricky Nolasco has royally rounded out the rotation since coming from Miami. Until those last two starts, Nolasco had lost only once as a Dodger. The Blue Crew was 10-2 in his starts, but when he last faced the Giants, he got 4 outs. Gave up 7 runs, 7 hits. Last week at Arizona, he gave up 6 runs in 5 innings. Now, that's been a normal outing for Barry Zito for much of his Giants career, which has paid him $126 million since 2007. Eric, any concern about Nolasco, the way he's finishing?
Well, he obviously didn't throw well the last 2 starts, and he's been hit quite a bit. You'd like to see him go into the postseason on a high note. Is he going to be one of your top 3 guys? Probably not, but he could see action in the series. Barry Zito, as you mentioned, obviously not what the Giants wanted when they signed him a couple of years ago. But remember, last year, Giants winning the World Series, he was very instrumental and pitched great. This probably is his last start in a Giants uniform. They have an option. They want to exercise it. Probably not going to happen. But one thing you can say about Barry Zito, the performance wasn't great, but the effort and being a great teammate was outstanding the entire time. Bruce Bochy speaks just volumes about how great he has been.
Yeah, great clubhouse guy.
Yeah.
You don't think there's a chance to pick up the $18 million option?
Not seeing it.
Even with a shutout.
A shutout. Maybe a shutout.
Sorry,
tonight.
Barry. I don't think it's happening. Lots more still to bring you leading up to first pitch. The bobbing heads, a hit and run are warming up, as is Eric's inside pitch, which is coming up next. He'll give out his Dodger awards for this season. Plus, more on tonight's game. Don Mattingly with some big decisions over the next week, and the Dodgers with a decision to make on extending the contract of a manager that's ending this 3-year playoff drought. And we'll take a look back at what has been, without question, some of the best 8 years of fun we've ever had, all thanks to our time here on Think Blue TV. We'll share that with you as Ricky Nolasco gets set to throw to A.J. Ellis. His bat's been coming back around in the end of September, and he loves to hit against Barry Zito. Hopefully he'll do that again tonight. He's got a .417 lifetime average against the Giants lefty.
Think Blue TV brought to you by your Southern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus today. For more information, visit Lexus.com. Think Blue TV, sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Here's the lineup card. Don Mattingly exchange for Game 2 of this series. Once again, no Andre Ethier. He's back here in L.A. for tests on that troublesome ankle, although he probably sits anyway against Zito. Mattingly said yesterday he hopes Andre gets in a game before the end of the regular season, but he's worried. Jerry Hairston hopes he gets in a game after the regular season and that he hits every day against Barry Zito. In his career, he's .370, 4 doubles, and a homer, as he tries to make his case for the postseason roster. Eric, final show for us with the Dodgers. Time for you to pick this year's MVPs for the season.
Well, a lot of great players, a lot of great performances for the Dodgers this year, but one guy for me sticks out.
Time now for the Inside Pitch, sponsored by Chevrolet.
Well, you know, on this show, I've been just campaigning for Clayton Kershaw to be the MVP of the league, and he's had a great season. Been the Cy Young candidate that he always is, has dominated, anchored the staff, and he, along with Zach Greinke, are the best 1-2 combination in all of baseball. Is he my MVP for the Dodgers, though? No, he's not. Puig!
What?
Yes, it's Puig. No, it's not Puig. Puig, though, he was absolutely electric. What he has done for this ball club is brought energy. The performance has been great, but this team was lethargic. It was perceived as a boring team. Puig brought a lot of energy, and with it, a lot of success. My sleeper here, Kenley Jansen. Yep. Remember, he was a closer last year, had the heart ailment. Brandon Lee takes over. He gets the job at the beginning of the year, struggles in the bullpen, so Don Mattingly makes the change. Kenley Jansen back to closer and has been dynamite. But that's my guy right there, Gary.
So.
That is my MVP for the Dodgers this year, Hanley Ramirez. He'd be the MVP for the league if he had more time. But what he's done is he's turned back the clock. He's playing like he did in 2008 and 2009 when you were talking about him being one of the 2 or 3 best players in the entire game. He's done it offensively. He's done it defensively. He's done it in a leadership role, especially mentoring Puig. Been consistent when he's in the lineup. The Dodgers are better defensively. They're better offensively. Again, a lot of strong performances. Adrian Gonzalez, the most consistent Dodger, because he's been in the lineup all year long. He didn't even make my list. Again, a lot of great performances, but Ramirez, my MVP for this year.
Yeah, and if Egon can get 1 RBI in these last 5 games, he's going to hit the triple digits. And Hanley, 347.
Yep. Well, you know what? The defense, too. He's running again. The 10 stolen bases, the home runs. Complete player again.
Yeah, he is, and they miss him when he's not in the lineup. No. Rest him up for next week. Much more on the way here. The Bobbing Heads a hit and run standing by for one last time. But before that, we'll take a trip down memory lane. Through 8 great years of Dodger baseball and so much more, I don't even remember that. Remember that? We'll check it all out next.
Think Blue TV, sponsored by Honda. Get a great deal during the really big spring event, now at your Honda dealer.
We already said goodbye to Tim Wallach. We have a series of send-offs today, but this will probably be the best one. Not only have Eric and I been together since day one, but Lou Cook has produced virtually every show. Nick Quo is responsible for our most advanced editing in the pieces and those heads on the box office review. So we could blame them and ourselves for this. It is our first edition of Think Blue TV, our pregame edition. Hi, everybody. Gary Miller and Eric Karros. Very pleased to be with you for the upcoming season. I bet you wish you were playing for this team.
Well, I do. There have been a lot of changes this winter, and I am looking forward to what this baseball club has to offer.
13, 14, I know I see 15, maybe 16, 17, 18, and this, he's President!
Now that's funny.
Funny. Well, you know what? They catch better with their mouths than I did with my glove. I mean, that's what's amazing.
Think Blue always keeps you abreast of the box office. Time for Eric and I to give our opinions. We like to call it hit and run the mouth. You seem to be yapping a lot louder than you are there.
Ned Coletti's done a
Great job with the experience.
His pitchers haven't choked.
Isn't that cute?
Any baseball player, person that's been involved would know that was not on purpose. We're not just going to fire stuff out over the plate. We're going to keep pitching in.
Just put on the boxing gloves and go into a room, and one guy comes out. They're bobbing again. What are you saying?
How many super regional, just to win a super regional game?
College is
none.
Take me out to the ball game.
Well, tough first inning, and we will check that out on the inside pitch.
3, 2, 1. Oh, he got it!
There's a reason to watch us this second half of the season other than to see what tie Gary's going to wear.
I'm ready to be fitted.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
I
come
know.
on,
No,
now,
okay,
come
no.
on.
Help! Where's Karros? You know, maybe I didn't set the track record in the 42 Dodger car, but I was on the track. So anytime I had, beats Karros. Year after year after year. I never grow tired of that.
You don't get tired of that? I'm getting tired of it.
As long as I truly get honestly excited, as long as I feel the emotion, I think I should be here.
And the fly ball to deep right, blanks to the track. It is gone. Que viva Cuba. Viva Puig. And that'll do it for us. Have a very pleasant good evening, everybody.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
No, that's good stuff. I mean, I am. I'm going to miss driving up here. I'm going to miss getting ready for the Dodger shows, working with you. And you mentioned some of the people, Patrick Smith out there as well, and Scott Henry made this all happen, Lou Cook. I mean, there's a whole host of people that you can thank that we've dealt with over the years, and it's sort of sentimental today. I didn't think it would be. But
that's how fun the show
great.
is.
Really, yeah.
Those are the peaks, but it's like that almost at one point or another. Every show, something like that happens.
Good stuff.
And we didn't have too many repeats in the wardrobe department there.
No. I mean,
have you got your elevator suit on?
Oh,
see, I got my elevator.
Yeah, you breaking that out, huh? Woo! All right.
There'll be a little bit more to come as we go along, but we are heading up to a baseball game. First pitch in the Bay Area. Before we send it up to Vinny, we'll load up those bobbing heads one last time. Eric's going to tell us who he thinks will be instrumental as the Dodgers push for their first World Series crown in a quarter century. I think we're going to be hearing more about his MVP choice.
Think Blue TV, sponsored by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times.
Now, that's a definite upgrade over that one we showed earlier. The original
it's
hit and
changed.
run.
I was just checking out the hairstyles over the years, the facial hair.
They don't have us doing the mouths anymore, but it is the bobbing heads, and that still means the same thing: hit and run.
Well, I'm going to put on my Karnak hat from Johnny Carson and try and predict the future. This is what I see in the upcoming weeks. The Dodgers, obviously, in the postseason, they're going to face off against the St. Louis Cardinals first. They will win because of the left-handed pitching of Clayton Kershaw and Ryu. Why? The Cardinals just do not hit well against left-handers. They move on. With Paco Rodriguez coming in at the pen once in a while, too, no chance for the Cardinals. Then they go on to play the Reds. That's who the Dodgers will meet next. Hanley Ramirez destroys the Reds. He's been doing it all year long. Couple home runs. He's going to swing the bat well. He's going to propel them into the World Series. This is where it gets a little interesting. They're going to play the Boston Red Sox, and this is my pick right here. Carl Crawford is going to star. He does well against his old team, and this is my guy that is going to have a huge impact. Who would have ever guessed in a million years coming into this season that one Brian Wilson, formerly of the San Francisco Giants, would play an integral role in the Dodgers winning the World Series, their first since 1988. Ned Colletti, Don Mattingly, they're popping the champagne. Mattingly gets a contract extension, all is good, and magic. He touches something else, and it turns
It's
to
not
gold.
that far. You know, I was going to rib you when you chose the MVP about what happened to Carl Crawford, your most instrumental that you said in the
I'm
opening
telling you,
days.
he's going to be
back.
I'm telling you.
He's back.
He's going to play a pivotal role
And he's
in the
got a
postseason.
chance.
Yep.
And so it goes. 8 seasons, nearly 400 Think Blues, and now, just like KCAL did with the Lakers, we step aside for the team to start its own channel. This run is nothing like that 35 years the Lakers spent with us as their broadcast home, but it is a significant one. When we first went on the air with this show, we were still at the historic Sunset Drive studio, some of that footage you just saw, and we had Jackie Johnson doing weather updates to help fill the half hour. Over the years, we've had on-field analysts from Larry Boa to Davey Lopes to Eric's old teammate Tim Wallach. Boa by far the most outspoken, Eli the most engaging. We've sat down for detailed conversations with everyone from Clayton Kershaw and Matt Kemp back when they were rookies, to Joe Torre and Don Mattingly, to characters like Nick Punto, Yasiel Puig, and Brian Wilson. Glenn Shimada provided the outstanding camera work on those, and we thank him for making the subjects, and to some degree me, look good. And then there's the guy to my right. Now, I've had the pleasure of working a lot in this industry, Baseball Tonight, doing games for ESPN, worked with a lot of analysts. This guy is the best in the business, as you see, and there's two reasons. One, the analysis is right on. The inside pitch, and the thing, we'll see if Crawford becomes a hero and if they even make the World Series. But the humor is genuine and it's real. And one more thing I think, speaking of humor, we need to share with them is. Come on.
I'll do it.
Woo! Yeah, okay. And no socks, all right? The secret's out. Enjoy the game, everybody.